Good.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we open up,
Shalom.
you ain't got to repeat after me. It's just before we open up, I want to give all glory, praises, honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Definitely rule and teach well. Mighty Shalom, as always, to the household of faith, the hopeful elect, and Yisrael is pushing his truth throughout the four corners of the earth. To you, we say Shalom. We're the brothers from the Great Millstone branch, the Gary Indiana camp. I myself, the brother Uriah.
Brother
Yeah,
Iowa.
yeah, what's up?
And pretty much, we're just gonna do a quick lesson, through the Spirit, Holy Spirit. I was reading, the First Samuel, the 21st chapter, and I just looked into the chat, to break it down through the Holy Spirit, because when we read these stories about our forefathers, these are actually true stories, but well, with these true stories, we can apply it to our lives today, through some shape, form, or fashion, man. You know, because just like us, we catching hell, going through the furnace of affliction. And our forefathers went through the same goddamn thing. And through it all, they held fast. They held fast to their faith and trust in the Lord. And eventually, the Lord, delivered them, through all that. Navigated them through all that. Through everything they went through, man. And we got to remember these things, man. So without further ado, I'm gonna open up with that Romans 15:4, and then we're gonna read through the chat. And we pray this video is edifying, to you, to the flock.
This is Romans 15:4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope."
So everything that we read about, is written for our learning. And it says that we, through patience, having patience, because hey, our forefathers, they went through times of testing, trials. We got many accounts. Joseph come to mind, Daniel, the dens, the story of Susanna. But for the sake of the lesson, we're going to the account with King David. One of the greatest warriors, if not the greatest warrior to walk the earth. And even though he was a mighty man, David went through trials, man. He went through times of fear, anxiety, because he was in the flesh, man. The same feelings that we feel when we go through things, trials, the troubles in the mind, anxiety. You like, damn, is the Lord with me or not? Hey, King David went through it, man, and many of our forefathers, yeah, even Yahweh Shah, in the Garden of Gethsemane, So we read these scriptures, because it comforts us. It reassures that, hey, if our forefathers went through the same things and the Lord's with them, how much more us, man? And that's where you got to tap into faith. You got to put yourself, we read these scriptures, man. You just can't just be reading, I know the story. You got to read, put yourself in their shoes, man. You got to feel it. Like, Denzel, when training day, like, you got to, we told dude, raise the window down. You got to smell that shit. You got to feel it. Same thing with this word, man. We got to, these are forefathers, you know? And some of that we could be reading about somebody, not to say, we David and nothing, but, we could be reading. Some of us could be reading about our own damn past lives, You never know. Not to say, we saying we on that level of David, hell no, we ain't gonna say that. But the point being is, you know, everything's written for our learning. But y'all got it, bro.
My bad. Say it again.
Y'all got it. We can start reading through the
Con. It says in the chat, it says break down First Samuel 21 and how does the story relate to believers today. It says First Samuel 21 tells the story of David while he is fleeing from Saul. Although David had already been anointed by Yahweh, since he had not yet received the throne, this chapter shows what faith can look like in a season of hardship and waiting.
all right.
It
So
says,
we all gonna go through if I may, we all gonna go through a season of hardship and waiting. I like to call it the wilderness season. And these seasons that we go through is really the is the purging process. It's the time where the Lord He's afflicting us. Because really we're being purged, and we all gonna have these seasons. It's part of the truth. You're gonna have seasons of hardship, and and uncertainty. Yeah, you're gonna be seasons where you have to wait on the Lord and see what the Lord gonna do, man. Which takes what? Patience. We're going to the word patience, long suffering. But through it all, we have to still trust, and have faith in the Lord that He's going to get us through whatever we may go through.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got it, bro.
Says verses 1 through 9, David and Nob says David comes to the priest Ahimelech hungry and unarmed. Ahimelech is afraid because David is alone. David receives the holy bread, the show bread, because there's no ordinary bread available. It says David also receives the sword of Goliath, the giant he had defeated years earlier. It's a lot. It says the lesson of it is Yahweh provided David with both food and a weapon in his time of need. Yahweh often supplies what his people need at the right moment.
So hey, we may be going through moments where you may be, without a home. You may be in a place where you're like, damn, I'm gonna get through this. But you got to remember these stories. Hey, David probably was going through the same thing. Like, damn, fuck him. On the run, isolated, separated. He uncertainty, but he had faith in the Lord, and the Lord, provided the way for him. And same thing with us in our walk, man. You're gonna go through periods where you may be separated, you may be isolated, you may be in a period where financially you may be at a low. You're not sure your next meal gonna come. You're not sure how you're gonna get this is gonna happen. That's when you gotta exercise what? Faith.
Precept.
Yep.
You got it, bro.
You finna say something, Walt? Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9.
You got it. I'm bringing it up.
It says, "They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he care for his elect." So pretty much what the brothers are saying, whatever you go through, whatever trial you're going through, whatever, is afflicting you, remember it's only temporary. And remember that the Lord cared for his elect, like that scripture say. He's not going to put too much on you that, you can't bear, So remember to have trust in him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you grab that Sirach 2 and 10? Just to back the brother up. For sure. And we always got to remember that the Lord's going to take care of his elect, man. If you should, and I'm speaking to those that's sincere. You sincerely fighting, you sincerely seeking the Lord. Lord gonna make sure Lord gonna provide for you, man. The Lord already got provision set for us.
Yep.
Y'all got it, bro.
Says, the book of Sirach, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble."
So we got to prepare our mind, which the Hebrew word for heart goes to lab, which really goes into the mind. We got to prepare our mind for temptation. This truth, unlike the Christian church they teach prosperity, everything's gonna go all right. No, when you come to this truth, you're gonna have to suffer, man. And the suffering is not to destroy you. The suffering is really to purge you and to also build you and to also build that faith and trust in the Lord. Because through the suffering, that's when the Lord's going to show that he's going to be with you. Because sometimes, we go through the suffering, we like to rely on what carnal means, our own strength, finances. But, the Lord got to show you that, hey, I'm with you. You can't rely on these things. You got to rely on me.
If I may, beautiful, because you have to understand that it says when you come to serve the Lord, you have to understand what is that representation of a disciple. The word disciple says one who follows another for the purpose of learning. It says especially the person who follows Yahweh Shah Mashiach during his life. You have to understand that if you're going to learn from this man, you're going to have to walk and go through the same things he went through. Now, we're not going through it at the same level as he went through, but you have to understand that you're going to have to drink of that cup, man. You're going to have to go through those hardships in order to get the same, what's it called, lessons, man. So the Lord is putting you through these things in order to strengthen you up, right? So it's all a part of the walk. It says, that was in on that definition. It says, verse 3, "Cleave to him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end."
So cleave unto him that thou mayest be increased. I remember David was anointed king 15 years before he actually sat on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord had him go through what he had to, so when the time for him to sit on the throne, he'd be fitted for it.
Yep.
That's what we're going through. The Lord ain't finna just put any willy ass nigga on the throne. The Lord gotta put you gotta be trained. He's training us. Adversity is really training. Because through that adversity, you learn wisdom, you learn wits, you learn discernment, you learn from your mistakes, you're learning, we're learning, bro. And you
Yep.
learn through what? Pain. That's how Jake learned through experience, through heartache. Because one thing to tell the brother one thing, but it's a difference when he actually go through. That's when the lesson's gonna stick, you know?
If I
And that's
may,
how
it
the
says,
Lord, you got it, bro.
you got
It's like,
no, you
no,
got
you got to walk.
it. It
I ain't gonna
says
say no, you got it.
the heart is made better through sorrow. There's much to learn when you're in the what's it called, in the house of mourning, man. Because that's when you put at a lower state and you have to think, man.
Come.
Right. But when you're in a mirth like state, you're in a bliss like state, you're not really you're not learning anything, you're not developing anything. But when you're going through different things, you have to be put in a situation where now you have to apply the different things the Lord has put you through. Now you're really learning, why did I end up in this situation? How can I get out of this situation? What can I do better so I don't end up back in this situation? Right. But you only learn these things when you're in a lower state. You don't learn these things when you're having fun, you're going you're you learn these things from the bottom ground up. Says you got it.
No, it's some more on that.
Yeah. It says verse 4. No, my bad. No, yeah. Verse 4 says, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient without change to a lower state.
The Lord said, take it cheerfully, which means you gotta be in a joyful heart. As crazy as it sounds, as hard it may be, you still gotta take pleasure in going through it. Because it may not be pleasant at first, man. But at the end, it's gonna work out for your benefit, just like Joseph. Hey, his brothers was sold him to what? Captivity, man. And what you say, what you meant for good, the Lord meant it for what you meant for bad, the Lord meant it for evil. I mean, what you meant for evil, the Lord meant it for good. Because at first it may seem like, man, what the fuck? But really it's a blessing that's gonna come at it. Like, just like a storm. After the storm happens, what happened? Usually happen. The rainbow comes out. It's usually the storm after the storm, the most beautiful, like the storm that hit over the other day. When the storm came, and then after the storm, that's when the beauty come out. Cause you see like, man, that shit look beautiful. You forget about the storm. And we gotta remember the Lord is with us through whatever we're going through, man. Because you're gonna have storms in your life, you know. And it's through those storms that's when you learn about yourself and you build that close relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai. And then through the storm, once you come out of it, you're able to teach others, and help others to get through they storms, man.
Quick precept. 1 Peter 4 and 13 says, but rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy.
So rejoice, right? Man. Rejoice what you go through. You got it, bro.
No, you got it.
Yeah, rejoice what you're going through, man. Rejoice it. And it's hard if it may sound, but rejoice. Because also the Lord showing you he's with you. The scripture say he chasten those whom he love. And if you be without chastisement, then you are bastards. See, the world teaches you like the Lord ain't dealing with niggas, man. Although niggas catching hell, but they ain't catching hell on the level that we're going through, man. You think like, damn, I'm doing right, Lord, what the hell? But but you got to remember the Lord, he love you. So when you're going through the hell, man, take pleasure in it. And a lot of times, you believe it or not, we ask for these things. You may ask for strength. You ask, Lord, I need strength. How the hell you gonna go through strength if you don't go through pain? You get strong through pain. You ask for faith. Lord, I need more faith. So the Lord got to put you through situations where you got to exercise faith. You ask for what? Me personally, I ask for what? Discernment. The Lord teaches you through your mistakes that sometimes you got to be quiet or, to teach you discernment. That's how the Lord teaches us, man.
Precept.
You got it, bro.
The back of the brother Wild. What'd you have again, Wild? What procedures grabbing Peters?
4 and 13.
Okay, I just want to make sure. This is 1 Peter 1 and 6. It says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach. Yeah, so
You got,
kind,
you got it. You got it,
kind,
stop.
kind. So just like with that, book of Sirach chapter 2 brought out, take it cheerfully, that you going through these trials and temptations, because at the end, we endure to the end, like the scripture says, we're gonna be delivered, by Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
Uh, so I made because it says though now for a season, it's only temporary. Everything has a time and a season for everything, man. Right, and right now we're in a what's it called? It says before honor comes humility. We're in a humbling season, a season that comes with a lot of teaching, a lot of lessons, man. Because you have to understand that once we get out of this short season, right, we're going to be at the top forever, right? So it's not really a a grievous thing to be at the bottom for a little time, man. Because we understand that this current earth is going to pass away. All the things that we're going through right now is going to be like a dream, man. Right?
Uh, and
So
if
we
I
just
may, everything, it's like that, bro.
no, you got it.
Now finish your point, then I'll finish
You got it.
afterwards.
Hey, you got it, bro.
Yeah, if I may too, everything's about perspective too. See, a
Come
lot of times you could make the hell more worse if your perspective ain't right.
Yeah.
Man, well, I'm going through this, man. It's always going through something. Like, nah, man, that makes the hell more bitter. Then just because you could grieve the Holy Spirit. But when your perspective is like, man, you ask Lord, why I'm going through this, Lord? Show me why I'm going through this and how, in that mindset, Lord, the Lord's supping with you. He's gonna show you this is why you're going through this, son. Then it makes it more. It makes now the hell though the lesson is not as bitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to walk by faith and not by sight. You can't look at the circumstance like, oh man, that's the flesh. The flesh, panic, you worrying and shit. But when you lock it to the spirit, you're like, man, the Lord, he's teaching me something right now. Wait, when you get then you got what you trying to teach me, Lord? And if the Lord dealing with you, he's gonna show you. There's a blessing and a lesson, you know, you know, and everything we go through is a lesson. But y'all got it, bro.
I do got another precept, but I don't know if Bob had one. But we want to go back into that
Let
track.
me finish that little last part so we can go ahead and move from it. It says,
Okay.
verse 5, "As for gold is tried in the fire and accepted men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him and he will help thee, or thy way right, and trust in him." Right? So you have to understand that we're being tried in that fire, man. And Lord, only we come out gold, man. Right? Like I said earlier, every son that he receives, he chastises. Right? But he's doing it for your betterment. Did it not say in the book of Hebrews for our profit? Right? We've been in this world for so long, we have all types of different indoctrinations. It's just like a person who's been on a drug for too long. You got to get weaned off of it, man. Right? The Lord is putting us through that fire to knock this shit off of us bit by bit, right? And He's replacing it with what He wants us to have, man, with what understanding we were supposed to have in the first place, right? But nobody said it was going to be an easy process, right? It says, though it seems to be grievous, it's going to yield the peaceable fruit, right? So in the
Mhm.
end, it's going to be all worth it, man. We just have to endure.
God. You get your piece up, stop.
No, you say my precept. All right. James 1 and 2. It says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work of patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So count our joy, like I brought out earlier. Count our joy when you're going through these things, because it pretty much builds up your faith, through persevering, going through certain things, having patience is, enduring it and persevering through, a time that you don't really want to be in, which pretty much, like I said earlier, builds up your faith.
God, if I may too, also once you overcome and come to the other side, because the Lord also too, the Lord put us through things so other people could believe too.
Yep.
Remember, when we go
Yep.
through things and you go through and you come out, hey, people that are numb, that's gonna convince the gangsters and the non believe. Like, damn, this dude, the Lord really with this nigga. It's gonna show that the Lord is a true power too, man. So that's how that's how people can be converted. You know, you could have somebody that's probably a family member that's probably don't believe, your mom or somebody, and they see you like this. And my son always catching hell, but you getting through it, you getting stronger. She's like, it must be something with this God that he believes. It must be a true, you know what I'm saying? Then eventually they start to believe. Cause they see you overcoming things like, damn, you know?
So,
You know?
yeah, Trilla said put him in.
Who?
Yeah, Sharella.
Hey, Shalom, Mak, Yabashim Shabakatah.
Shalom, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh,
Shalom, y'all. Brush me, y'all. Check it out.
They keep muted. But we go back to the chat. Damn.
It says verse 7. A man named Doeg the Edomite witnessed what happened. Later, he betrays David and caused the slaughter of the priests, described in 1 Samuel 2. So it's lesson. Not everyone around your house people have good intention. Believers need wisdom and discernment.
Another thing too, the Lord, you know, he bring you through situations. I should say a friend is known in adversity, but the enemy cannot be hidden. So also, Lord, he bring us through things to show, you know, people's nature, who really with you. Because one thing to say, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, or anybody, it could be anybody. But when you go through something, the Lord gonna show you who really in your corner. You know, because everybody don't have your best intention. You know. You continue reading on, bro.
Give me 1 second.
I'll read. It says verses 10 to 15, David and Goth. David flees to Goth. It's like I can't see that. You can see it outside. I'm on the damn phone.
I just had to say something to my sister. It says,
That's all good.
I was say it was kind of small.
says
Yeah.
David flees to Gath, the hometown of Goliath. The Philistines recognized him as a famous warrior. Fearing for his life, David pretends to be insane. King Achish sends him away, and David escapes. Lesson: Yahweh preserved David's life even when he was surrounded by enemies.
God. So Lord, whatever we go through, the Lord's gonna preserve us, man. The Lord gonna put you in a situation where you feel like there's no way out, but the Lord gonna show you that He's with you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we all been in situations of jams that you like, damn, how the fuck me get out this shit? You know, but you exercise faith, the Lord gonna show I'm with you, son. You know? And in turn, what it does, gonna do what? Build your faith up. You know? You got it, bro.
It says, continuing on, how this relates to believers today. It says, Yahweh's calling doesn't eliminate trials. David was chosen by Yahweh, yet he experienced rejection, fear, and uncertainty. Believers may also face difficult seasons before seeing Yahweh's promise fulfilled.
Hey, that's the truth, man. You're gonna go through seasons of uncertainty, man. Seasons where things is not gonna pleasant, man. You have to go through the storm, man. Like the song New Edition made. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Because storm's gonna come. You're gonna go through adversity, and that's when the Lord gonna try you, man, to see. Okay, because it's good to serve the Lord when everything's going good, but how much more when you're going through hell, you catch an affliction.
Yep.
You know. You got it, bro.
It says Yahweh provides in the wilderness. Just as David received bread and a sword, Yahweh provides spiritual nourishment through his words and strength through his spirit.
Damn, that's mighty. Because David didn't have a sword. He had shit. And crazy, he had to go to the temple to go get it.
Yep.
The bread and the sword, which is what? The word. You know, these stories we read about, man, they symbolize these things. They already live the story. They symbolize these things, man, you know?
It's mighty because that sword is healing and it's a defense.
Yep.
Because past victories prepare you for present battles. says David carried Goliath's sword, a reminder that Yahweh had delivered him before he like it before and could do it again.
Con. So also too, we gotta remember, man. Hey, the Lord, hey, the Lord put us through things, man. Hey, because we go through things. We're gonna constantly go through adversity, go through trials. But that's when when the next one come, you remember, like, man, the Lord got me through this. I know He's gonna get me through this one. And the Lord you gotta, because sometimes we be going through some shit. And I'm speaking to myself, man. Recently in my walk, man, you going through, like, man, how the fuck you panicking? And the Lord gotta remind you, hey, man, remember I brought you through this and you was able to, you came out strong.
Precept.
And then you like, hey, the Lord gonna, He gonna, whatever you go through, the Lord gonna, He gonna remind you, hey, man, I'm always with you. What you worrying for? But you gotta, y'all stop.
I got you, bro. This is Psalms 34 and 17. Put him back in, Wild. There you go.
Yeah, bro.
It says, the righteous cry and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. This is the point, verse 19 I want to get. It says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of all, out of them all. So the righteous, the elect, we all go through things. It says many afflictions, you know. So you can't just think, oh, you're the only one going, through a certain situation where we all go through it. Just like with the book of Hebrews, the brother Iowa was quoting, I believe it was early on in that chapter, it says, um, if you pretty much don't go through, chastisement, it says, which we all go through, then you are a bastard, so you got to expect it, you know, and when you expect it, have faith that the Lord's going to deliver you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make haste in a time of trouble. You gotta remember, hey, the Lord's with me, man. He delivered me from times, past afflictions, of past times of trouble. He's gonna do it the same thing this time.
Yep.
And ultimately, the Lord is doing these things for past. Ultimately, for the ultimate test is what? Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, MOTB. Because that's the times we come into, the times of uncertainty, the times where we ain't gonna know where we're gonna get our food from. Like David, man, he didn't know. Hey, man, how I'm gonna eat. But the Spirit put him. Let me go to the temple real quick. See if they will give me some food. You know what I'm saying? And he's planning a way to get the food. He said, "What you doing here about long?" Like, hey, you read the story. He pretty much said, like, man, hey, I'm on a mission. Saw something on a mission, a secret mission. Pretty much, he was planning, but he was through that supply, he was able to get some food, man. And the Lord gonna do that with us, man. He gonna put us in situations where He gonna provide for us, man. Because also we go through these things, the Lord, He teaching us to be sharp on our feet. To think quickly in the midst of trouble. Try got it, bro.
You got a while.
Excuse me. It's a lot.
I really want to get to that second part of the in-depth part of that chat. It goes more in depth.
It says, not everyone will be faithful. Like Doeg, some people may betray or oppose Yahweh's people, but Yahweh remains faithful. It says, trust Yahweh even when you're afraid. David experienced fear, yet Yahweh continued to protect him and guide his steps.
And although mighty as David was, he was in the flesh. He dealt with fear and uncertainty. We all gonna have those moments where, like, you're gonna be afraid. Damn, I'm gonna get the pain. You may, you know what I'm saying? But hey, he trusts in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So we all gonna have those moments where you're gonna feel afraid. You're gonna feel fear. It's, hey, we human, man. We in the flesh. But it's what you do when that fear arises. Are you gonna just resort back to carnal means, or are you gonna trust in the Lord? Are you going to exercise faith? That's what the Lord is looking at, man. And that goes for all of us, man. Because fear going to come. That worry going to come. Them thoughts going to come. But how you triumph over those thoughts is through what? This word. That's spirit, the brother already got that preset, Psalms 34:19.
Con.
As key verse that reflects this season, which we just read. Songs traditionally connect with David's escape from Achish. Says many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered him out of all of them. Like out of them all. As for believers today, 1 Samuel 21 is a reminder that even when you feel isolated, pursued, or misunderstood, Yahweh has not abandoned you. He can sustain you, protect you, and continue preparing you for the purpose He has called you to fulfill. That's mighty though, because you got to understand no matter what you do, like the brother said, it's all of the flesh, man. You're going to have certain different emotions, certain different feelings. Like even when going back to training for some sport or training for just your everyday health, you're not going to be 100% every day. You're going to have those days you're going to feel like this shit is just it's all terrible, right? But you're also going to have those days where everything is paying off, right? Everything is going according to plan. No matter what, you have to keep the same mindset through both of those different type of times, man. Because at the end, it's on all payoff. Those bad days are needed. Those good days are needed. All right. Because both of them shows your discipline at the end of the day. All right. So we just got to trust the Lord and continue to fight because when the times come, the times we're about to enter into, these bad days and these good days are going to be both things that we're going to rely back on, right, in order to continue to push forward through the eye of the storm, man. It says, you are asking, you go a little more in depth. It says, certainly, looking more in deeply, 1 Samuel 21 is about a servant of Yahweh learning to trust him while living between the promise and the fulfillment. David had already been anointed king in 1 Samuel 16, but he was still living as a fugitive. Many believers can relate to a season where they know Yahweh's promise, but have not yet seen them fulfilled.
Woo. Hey, we know the promise, we know salvation. But we got to have faith and trust in the Lord, and because why? It's there. We got to walk through the straight gate. We got to go through the straight gate. You know, that's when you're gonna have faith. The Lord already showed David he was already anointed, and the Lord already showed us He's with us, man. But now we gotta walk to get it. We have to go through it to get to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna come through pain. It's gonna come through betrayal. It's gonna come through being misunderstood. It's gonna come through all that. But hey, at the end, it's gonna be worth the reward. You know, it's gonna be worth everything. You know, I'm saying that correctly. You know.
It says, one, David came to the priest hungry and empty-handed. David arrested at Nob with no food or no weapon. He had nothing to rely on except Yahweh's provisions. Spiritually, this can picture a believer who has been stripped of self-reliance. Sometimes Yahweh allows us to reach a place where we are, where our own strength, resource, or relationship cannot sustain us, so that we learn to depend on Him.
Come on, because sometimes, if I may, sometimes we're gonna rely on these carnal things for comfort. We're gonna become too reliant on these things. The Lord got to sometimes strip these things away to show that hey, you don't need those things. You need me. And that could be anything, a job, like I just said, a job, relationships. Because sometimes we could depend upon these things too much for support. So the Lord had to sometimes remove these things from us, you know, to show us, to put us in a position where we have to trust upon Him. Because we could be too, these things. Because in the times to come, like relation, none of these things are going to be able to sustain us. Your relationship, your woman may turn on you, your family may turn on you. Then what? Then what you got? You may lose your job. Then what? You may lose your foot. Then what? Your foot broke. You know, you break your fucking foot or your arms. Then what? You know?
If I
How you
may,
gonna get through the times, man? You got it, bro.
if I may, starting on one of the points you said, the Lord already said the grind is going to cease. So a lot of the things that you are relying on right now, all of this shit is about to get taken away.
God.
Right? They already threatened to take away food stamps for certain people. Right? They're already saying that the grid is going to collapse. A lot of these different places are saying that they don't have enough work, so a lot of these workers are getting fired. All of these different things that you use as a source of strength and what's it called, comfort, they're already pretty much saying they're about to take away. Right? So the Lord is taking these things away from you before this comes to pass to show you I got you. So when these things do come to pass, you're going to sit there and be like, well, I already had to go through this in a similar way. And the Lord made sure I got through that, so He's going to make sure I get through this.
Yep. And the Lord preparing us. He's preparing us to go through the straight gate and to win. That's why I should say, since thou kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from what? The hour of temptation. Why he's gonna keep thee? Because you already went through it already. He showed you, hey, you go through it, I got you. So when the time comes when they threaten us no food, Lord, I'm like, man, Lord, there been times when you know we all could account, you probably I'm gonna get a meal from. And something happened, you get a meal, not only just a regular meal, you get a good meal.
Mm-hmm.
Or you may like, I'm gonna get paid, and something happened where you may do a scratch off or motherfucker may come through with a little cash, or you forgot about an account that you have, and you know what I'm saying? And the Lord find something find a way for you. You know, or you may lose people that you love, but the Lord put you around those that really love you.
Yep.
You know, that's how the Lord works, man. And the Lord's going to constantly do these things to build us up for what? The ultimate test. You know, because these people in this world, they depend upon their job. They depend upon their woman. My woman got me. Yeah, you think she got you, nigga, till the time comes, and show your ass she ain't got your back. You know, some people rely on these things, man. What you going to do when these things are stripped? Then what you got? If you ain't got the Lord, you cook. You know, y'all got it, bro.
It says the priest gave David the showbread, which had been set before Yahweh in the tabernacle. Under normal circumstances, this bread was reserved for the priest. Yahweh later referred to this event in Matthew 12 and 3 through 4 to show that Yahweh's mercy and care for people are greater than the ritual alone. It says application today. Yahweh's provisions may come in unexpected ways. He knows what his people need and is able to sustain them even during seasons of lack.
Ooh. It was good to say, hey, get the grab that priest over said, my servant shall eat.
Hey, Sop, get that because I'm gonna have to get my sister real quick. And then one of y'all, if y'all can hold that chat, I'm just gonna mute my mic and step away while I go pick her up.
Okay, I'm gonna try to read through because this shit kind of little, but I'll see.
Isaiah, Salaki. Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power. Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Hey, Lord, he's gonna make a way for us. Provision is already set. You just gotta believe and trust him. You know, and you gotta have faith. I was just watching Elder Yasharama too, man. Sometimes we gotta speak these things too. Cause sometimes, man, you could begin into that spirit like, man, it's through, it's over with. No, you gotta be like, man, the Lord got us. You gotta speak words of encouragement to yourself, because this is what's gonna get us to the time to come. Hey, Lord may put you in charge of a flock. You gotta fucking encourage. Hey, we got us. Lord got us. How you know? You gonna recall all the times in your mind when the Lord did provide for you. You ain't had shit. Lord, he did this for me. I know he's gonna do this for you. He got us. You know, and you're gonna be the one that probably have to motivate. And then when the Lord come through, they're like, damn. You know, and Lord, he got us, bro. We got to remember that the Lord's not gonna leave us forsaken. He's not gonna. Hey, matter of fact, grab a Sirach 2 and 10 real quick, just to back my point up real quick. Bob, good shot, bro.
I had a precept after that, but I could wait because it's probably gonna go more to it once we keep reading that chat.
All right.
So Sirach 2 and 10.
Yeah.
It says, look at the
Like Daniel,
generation.
like if I make a good example, Daniel's in a dense line, but the Lord made sure he got a plate. He got some food, you know. But you got it, bro.
I was gonna get Matthew 6, but I could wait on that. This is Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Of whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Whom the Lord ever despised, man. And we can speak for ourselves. When you ever needed something, whenever the Lord despised you, especially if you sincerely need something. You know, I'm speaking myself, never, man. You know, the world may abandon you, but the Lord ain't gonna abandon you. And he gonna put people in your life that's not gonna abandon you. You know, whether it's the brothers or even some of your family members, man, or a stranger. The Lord gonna make sure he take care of you, man. And we always gotta remember that, man. That's why I should say we gotta walk by faith and not by sight, man. We gotta walk by faith. The Lord's right now is requiring us to have more. As the time progresses, we gotta exercise more and more faith, man. The scriptures say what the just shall live by faith. It's gonna take faith to get us through the times to come. Not your money, not your car, not your gun. Not because you did 1,000 push-ups in the gym. None of that shit ain't gonna mean nothing the time to come, man. The Lord is the what's gonna get us through the time to come is Yahweh Shem Shai and having faith and trust in him, man. You know? You gotta stop.
I got I could read the chat for you.
The what, bro?
Did he read that first paragraph in that second part?
For the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says David received Goliath's sword. First
Okay.
Samuel 21, 8 and 9. It said the sword of Goliath had been kept behind the ephod as a memorial. Think about what this meant for David. The weapon of his greatest defeated enemy became a reminder of the Most High faithfulness. For believers, this teaches that past victories should strengthen present faith. When new battles arises, remember what the Most High already brought you through. Woo! You know, and that's what get us through times. I'm speaking to myself. When you go through things like, damn, Lord got me through this, I know He's gonna get me through this shit. Because that was a reminder, man. David was probably in a time of uncertainty, man. Saul trying to kill him. He like, man, how the fuck? And then when he seen that Saul, you could imagine, like, man, I know that probably came to his mind, like, damn, Lord, you know what I'm saying? You know? Got it, bro. It says,
you got it.
It says as David wrote, because I don't know, he could scroll down.
Nah, we ain't gonna be able to scroll down. I think he ended up having to leave. But we could just keep on reading through it.
Yeah, come. I can't scroll down to see the rest of it. Probably do a part 2 though. It says as David. You got it, bro.
No, you got it. My bad. I was just gonna read it, but you got it.
You right. You got it. You can read it.
It says, as David later wrote in Psalm 18 and 29, for by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall. It says, Doeg the Edomite was watching. 1 Samuel 21 and 7. You know, you just go into that last one we read, the Psalms 18:29. You know, that hey, David was a mighty man. Hey, that's spiritual powers right there, you know. Being able to leap over a wall, you know. That's why, you know, Saul was so jealous, you know, King David, when, you know, the woman was singing, you know, Saul kills thousands and David his tens of thousands. You know, David was different.
Come. And we gotta remember that, man. The Lord got us, man. We all went through, even before we came to the truth, we all been through situations where we've been in that situation. Let's jam you may been in. You know, you can recall too, bro. Like you've been in a jam, like, damn, how the fuck am I getting a miracle happen? Something happened where you was able to get out that jam. You know, and we gotta remember these things, man. These things, that's why I opened up the Romans 15 and 4. That was written 4 times before I learned it. And we got many stories, many accounts. And it's not just David. There's the story, the history of Susanna. That's another story, being falsely accused. And the Lord sent a righteous judge to deliver her in the form of Daniel. And the Lord gonna do the same thing for us, man. Because Esau's gonna come down and with great wrath, he finna be lying. This devil finna bring out all our secrets and shit. Because we all got secrets and shit. He finna try to use all that shit to blackmail us. But you still gotta trust the Lord, because the Lord's gonna justify us. Not this pussy of the world, man. The Lord's gonna justify us, man. And we gotta remember that, man. It's gonna be our own family members turning us in. And you may be like, damn, how the fuck? And the Lord gonna show you I'm with you. Hey, what we going through right now, man, our lives, man, the Lord's preparing us for the times to come, man. And some brothers gonna go through worse than others, but all of us going through some. Why? For the Lord to prepare us for the times to come. You know, like in school, man, you get what, pop quizzes. So Lord give us spiritual pop quizzes. Different situations happen in our lives. Like, damn, why the fuck is this happening? The whole time the Lord is preparing you. You know, the Lord, you know, and that's one thing I asked the Lord for. You know, me personally, I asked the Lord to prepare me for Jacob's trouble so that they won't catch me off guard. You know, I always pray like, Lord, make sure I'm prepared so it don't catch me off guard. Because you want to be prepared when the battle comes. You don't want to be caught off guard. You know, like a soldier, they train for what? So when the battle comes, they ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what the Lord doing. He's training us so when the battle comes, we're going to be ready, man. That's what I should say. Real quick, right? That one in Second Esdras. It says, "Make ye ready for the battle, and then those days be as pilgrims." I just want to make the point. Make you ready for the battle. Because I can't pull it up on my phone. If I do it, this shit gonna turn off, kicked out.
I got you. 2:16-40. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and then those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth.
So we got to make ourselves ready for the battle. You know, not man. The Lord, He's doing it. He's training us for that day. He's preparing us for that day. The 2/3, they ain't been prepared. So that day is gonna catch them what? As a thief. And the Lord, He's preparing us, man. So when you see certain brothers going through certain things, man, hey, you know what I'm saying? No, the Lord preparing that brother. You don't know why the brother going through that. The Lord preparing us, man. You're gonna be betrayed. Betrayal is coming. That's part of the walk too. So there's gonna be times you may be betrayed by people you love. The Lord probably prepare you for the time to come. Humiliation, that's part of the walk. We're gonna be humiliated, embarrassed. That's part of the walk. All these things are part of the walk. Because Esau, man, this nigga finna throw everything at the monkey wrench to get us to fold. To get us to bow the knee. And it should say what? The Lord has reserved 7,000 not gonna bow the knee to this bitch ass nigga, man. And the Lord's preparing our mind, body, and spirit for those times where we're not gonna bow the knee. So count it all joy, man. Whatever you're going through, count it. That means the Lord dealing with you, man. You know? Shalom, Yabashim Ashrakata. You good, bro? Stop back. Walk back.
No, I don't think so. Wait, what'd you say?
No, say what I say. That's funny.
Yeah, he back. As a matter of fact, yeah, you can scroll through now because I can't even see the page. You can scroll down, bro.
Where you stop it?
I think we at point 3.
Yeah.
There's though Edomite was watching. The short version becomes very important. The short version becomes very important. Hold on. Josh Robert.
Shalom, you hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Calm now, man. I've been trying to get in for so damn long. Yeah. It's all good. Y'all got it.
Hey, you mute your mic.
Yeah.
It says, damn, what the fuck is that? Check this short verse becomes very important in the next chapter. Doeg later reported David's visit to Saul, resulting in the killing of the priest at Nob. This reminds believers that not everyone who watches your life celebrates Yahweh's work in you. Some people may misuse information or oppose Yahweh's purposes. Yeah. Even so, Yahweh remained in control of David's life.
That's another thing in life too, man. You go through these times, Lord show, like I just quoted earlier, man. A friend is known in the verse, but the enemy came by be hidden. So when you go through things, the Lord also puts you to things to show who's really on your side. You know, so He's preparing you for the times to come. Because as we get to closer to Jacob's trouble, the Lord's gonna start revealing people. Motherfucker, you thought that was sincere and thought that was with you. Lord's gonna show you that motherfucker will never with your ass. You know, especially when this devil put that squeeze, man. Some of your own family members, man, may turn on you. So the Lord right now, through our walk, He's preparing us for those times, for betrayal, for motherfuckers turning us in. You know, for people, you know what I'm saying? This is what the Lord preparing us, man, for, man. So when you go through things in your life, man, take your joy. The Lord's literally preparing you. So when that time comes, if I turn you in, or man, you be like, well, I've been through betrayal before, so shit, I ain't, you know, it's nothing new to me. It'd be easy to you to deal with. Because why? You've been prepared, you've been trained for that, because you felt that pain of betrayal before, man. I should say the servant is not greater than his master. Yahweh Shai went through it. You know, how much more us? You know, That's gonna happen, man. You know, it's gonna even be even brothers with you. Be like, man, I thought the brother 10 toes down. Whole time, brother, turn your ass in, man. These are times we coming into, man. That's why I should say, man, it's time to get you like the elder not by say, man, you got to get your mind right, man. You got to get prepared for these things, man. This is the truth of the whole matter, man. And it's bitter, you know, but hey, you know, but we gotta, this is something we gotta go through. Yahweh Shai went through it, you know.
It says continuing on, verse 4.4. David fled to Gath. It says Gath was the hometown of Goliath. Imagine David entering the city carrying Goliath's own sword. When the Philistines recognized him, fear overwhelmed him. He pretended to be insane so King Achish would dismiss him. Some readers struggle with David's actions here. The Bible records what happened without necessarily presenting every action as an example to follow. David was a man of faith, but he also experienced fear and made an imperfect decision.
Whatever, they going off on that shit. No,
Yeah,
he used wisdom.
by that. I was like, yeah, definitely wisdom.
Wisdom, man, because that's what that was. He should play Yaiquab this way out of the. And that's another thing. The Lord put us in a situation so we can learn how to Yaiquab our way out of certain things, man. Sometimes you gotta use your. That's how you gotta learn to use your wits. And we all been in situations like, damn, how the fuck? The Lord put the spirit, do this. You do some, you know, you do some shit. You get your way out there, jam. You may have to supplant. You know I did it before, man. Been in a situation like, how the fuck am I get this? You got to supplant. They call it a white lie. You know, sometimes you may have to do a lie, you know, a white lie. Oh yeah. The whole time they get your ass out the jam, man. We may be across some Christians. You may be in the gym and run across some Christians. Jesus love. You're like, yeah, the Lord saves. And get some food from their ass and then get the fuck up out of there. You know? You know, that's another thing too, going through adversity. The Lord is teaching us, you know, he's teaching us to think sharp, to think quick on our feet. Because you're in the midst of war, you gotta think quick on your feet. You know? You got it, bro.
Continuing on, David later reflected on his spirit in Psalms 56:3. It says, "What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee." Notice he didn't say I am never afraid. He said that when fear comes, he chooses to trust Yahweh.
And that's what I was saying earlier, man. You're gonna have fear. That fear gonna come. It's what you're gonna do when that fear arises. Are you gonna panic? Are you gonna be overcome by that fear? Or are you gonna trust in the Lord? You know? And that's what we gotta remember. We gotta trust in the Lord, man. You know, whatever we go through, the Lord got us. You got it, bro.
It says a prophetic picture for believers. Many Christians also see symbolic parallels in this chapter. David, Yahweh's anointed, was rejected before being enthroned, much as Yahweh Mashiach was rejected before his exaltation. It says the holy bread points to Hamashiach as the bread of life, which sustains his people. Goliath's sword reminds believers that Yahweh can turn former defeats and enemies into testimonies of his power. It says David's wilderness journey reflects the spiritual battle believers often face before entering new seasons of growth and responsibility.
Before the Lord prepare you for anything, he has to put you through trials or tests, you know, so he can prepare you. Lord, like I said earlier, the Lord ain't finna just give any willy ass nigga responsibility. You have to be proven first. And just like David, before he sat on that throne, he had to go through what? A proving process, man. He had to experience what? Hardship, adversity, trials and tribulations before he actually sat on the throne. He had to be what? Before that's honor, there's humility. He had to be humiliated. And the same thing we got to go through, man. You know, before the Lord put us into any type of position, we have to go through the fire, man. Adversity. You know, because the Lord got to trust you. Before the Lord give you power, he have to entrust you with this power. Hey, someone's gonna have spiritual powers in the time of Jacob's trouble. The Lord ain't finna just give any, like a nigga like Johanna fat ass. You think he finna give him spiritual powers? Hell no. You know, no, he gonna give brothers that's proven, that went through shit and still held firm to their faith and trust in the Lord, and still kept that, you know, their integrity, that still didn't allow the bitterness of the situation to cause them to be a nigga, you know. And he gonna give them that power, man, in the times to come, man. And someone's gonna, I believe, man, someone's gonna have spiritual powers in the time to come, man. You know? And one part of spiritual power is speaking it. That's spiritual power, right? That's a form of spiritual power to speak the victory. Elias Strong just did a lesson on that, man. You gotta get out of that mindset of always speaking negative, man. We gotta speak positive, man. Speak. When you're in trouble, speak. I'm gonna get through this shit. You know, because that's what Satan like to do. He like to get you to focus on the circumstances, and then instead of having faith, man, he wants you to focus on what you see versus what you don't see. You know, and what we don't see physically is the Lord. He's with us. You got it, bro.
It says what this
you gotta
can
read
look
that.
like.
If I may, you ain't got to read the last paragraph. I was going to what I was asking personally.
Oh wait, what this can look like today?
Yeah, don't talk the last paragraph of that. What it look like today, like the third one of that. But you can read the first two. Oh, you can read it all. Fuck, you'll give it now. You read.
It says if you're following Yahweh but experiencing loss, rejection, loneliness, or intense spiritual battles. 1 Samuel 21 reminds you that those experiences do not necessarily mean Yahweh has abandoned you. David's hardest years came after he was chosen by Yahweh, but before he became king.
So Lord ain't gonna abandon you. You got a guy. Well,
now all I was gonna say, if I may, it's just like a child, man. What is the first thing when a child starts crying? Somebody wants to do. They want to pick them up. They want to coddle them, right? But the Lord teaches us through tough love. Sometimes you have to let that child cry. Sometimes you have to let that child go through these situations so that they can learn. That doesn't mean that they're not there to still help that child, right? But sometimes you have to let that child experience these things so that it doesn't become a hindrance to them. You got it.
Yeah, because the old said, "Spoil the child." Some shit gotta go. You gotta
Spare the rod.
Spread the rod, spoil the child, man. The Lord, he ain't trying to, And also, the Lord raises men and kings and priests, man. The Lord ain't raising no damn babies. And the Lord want us to think and be sharp on our own feet, man. And also, through the Lord, we're mature. The Lord, we're growing. The Lord wants us to grow. Sometimes we could be too dependent upon things in this world, man. It can be anything, man. And the Lord had to take those things away to show, like, you don't need those things. You got me. As long as you got me, you can overcome any goddamn thing. And I'm speaking to myself, as I speak, man. You got it, bro.
It says that pattern appears throughout Scripture. Yahweh often prepares his servants in hidden places before bringing them into what he has promised.
The hidden seasons, like Israel going to the wilderness. We all gonna have that. We all got a wilderness season, and it's crazy. That's when the time you get to know the Lord, and also you get to learn about yourself. You get to know what you're strong at, what you're weak at. You get to learn about yourself, man. Those periods when you may be you may be going through something, and the Lord may have a way, brothers, you may feel isolated. Damn, brothers ain't around. But Lord, no, I want you to be here. This is for you. Yep. This for you. I want you to go through this. It's for you. Because why? The Lord preparing you for something greater. It's good to say better is the end of something. Better is the end of something than the beginning of it. Sometimes the Lord puts something, so you better put clothes, prepare you something greater, man. Got it, bro.
Yeah, like the brother said, man, every level is going to come with its ups and downs, man. You have to understand when you get on a greater level, yeah, it's going to be good at some points, but that also means you're going to have higher level demons, higher level tests that you're going to have to apply certain things to, man. Right? But it's all a part of the walk, man. It's all a part of what's to come. But you have to trust the Lord and understand that all these different things, once again, are only to better you. And the brother said it earlier, the Lord isn't going to put anything on you that you cannot bear, that you cannot get out of. You have to remember the Lord is right there with you, holding on to that bike as you're trying to get off them training wheels, man.
And also, too, if I may, too, also, the Lord requires a sacrifice. Sometimes before the Lord puts you on the level, you have to sacrifice something. You have to cut off, which means you have to cut off something or burn something off to get to that level. And that's what the Lord doing. That sometimes it could be something in your life that could be hindering you from getting to a certain level that the Lord wants you to get to. So the Lord may have you have to, have to sacrifice something to get to that level. It could be anything. It could be, pride, family, relationships. It could be many things, man. We all got our things that, that can hold us back. Fear, the fear unknown, the fear, sometimes Lord like, no, you got to cut that shit off because I got something greater for you. But if you're not willing to cut that off, you ain't going to get this.
Yep.
A lot of times we ask for certain things and the Lord like, I'm going to give it to you, but you got to sacrifice that to get it. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It ain't going to it will hurt. But at the end of the day, it's going to what? Yield the peaceful fruit, just like warriors, man, soldiers, man, people that fight, box, like Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler, he had to cut off his family for a period of time and distractions so he could focus on, the fight. So he got to go train. I'm a Marvin, they say he go somewhere to like an island for 3 months and train. He'll cut off all ties to society so he can focus, so he can win the fight. And the Lord do that with us, man. Sometimes the Lord cut off distractions in our lives so we can focus. And there's many types of distractions. Your job could be a distraction. Your woman could be a distraction. Your kids could be a distraction. TV, entertainment, your cell phone, anything could be a distraction, man. So the Lord, sometimes we have to cut these things off so we can focus on what's important. But that was it on that, though. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Anything else?
I ain't had nothing.
You got something, Yasharala? I don't know, bro, still online. I guess not. So y'all got any precepts? We can close out.
No, sir.
You got it.
So with that, we praise video was edifying through the Holy Spirit. We want to give all the glory and praise and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. That's doing well. Mighty Shalom, as always, to the whole elect. You sincere, I can speak the truth throughout the four corners of Shalom, Kum Yasharala, and the Bob of all.
Chemotherapy, man. 2026. Soon.
Boom.